Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to show you the most important takeaways from the $100 million leads Alex Hormozi, like the course that he has on his website that I was going through last night. And it really just brought a couple of things to light for me. Now, the industry that I operate in is I help info and coaching businesses basically scale their sales and marketing system using one-to-many sales presentations. And what we do for our clients has never been more applicable than in today's market. And Alex really highlighted this, and I wanted to make this video to show you. You know, he calls it $100 million leads, right? But what he really means is $100 million engaged leads. And he actually starts off this mini course by, when he first started writing the book, the editor who does it with him asked him, what actually is a lead? Which you can see on here, right? What actually is a lead? Because is a lead someone who follows you on Instagram? Is it someone who's opted into your email list? Is it someone who you door knock on? Like, what if you can message them? What if you can't? Here, Alex was even confused about it himself. And he came to the conclusion that a lead is a person that you can contact, right? But if a lead is a person that you can contact, then he realized that he didn't actually want leads, and he didn't want you to just have leads either. He wanted to be able, not just to be able to contact them, he wanted them to be interested in buying his stuff. And so the main takeaway there is that you don't just want leads, you want engaged leads. And that might sound really simple, like, yes, fucking obviously, Charlie, I just want engaged leads. But what actually is an engaged lead? An engaged lead is someone who shows interest in actually buying the stuff that you sell. So here's the thing. How are you going to differentiate a lead from someone who is an engaged lead? So for example, if someone goes on social media and you can contact them and they follow you, they are someone who is clearly engaged because they've not just seen, like, if you have the ability to contact them, you can contact anyone on Instagram. That doesn't really mean that they're or technically it does mean they're a lead, but it doesn't mean they're an engaged lead. Someone gives you their contact info, they reply to an email campaign, just anything that shows that they are interested in what you are doing. And that is what we want. So engaged leads are the true output of advertising. And it is the output of advertising which will make or break your business. Alex then goes on to talk about, right, so how do we get leads to engage? So he talks here about lead magnets. So let's say you just have an offer and you just take people straight to your offer. Whereas if you give them something for free, I know that this is pretty basic shit and you probably know what a lead magnet is, but when we build trust with people, they are more likely to buy our stuff. So what do most people do in this space? And this is actually one of my clients who, this is what he was doing when he first came to us. And he obviously had, like most people in the info or coaching or consulting space have, is just an evergreen VSL book a call funnel. Like, it's not a bad landing page at all. It converts relatively well on the opt-in and everything. We split test 2 VSLs, we split test a talking head VSL, and then we also split test a bit more of just a technical, like a loom, going over what is actually in the network. And what most people do is they'll send them straight from a VSL to try and get them to book in a growth call. But what happens if they don't book in that call is that they will get nurtured. Hopefully you have some sort of nurture sequences. But the problem is that the leads haven't been educated and nurtured enough to book a call, and therefore they are not engaged enough. And we can see this in the fact that this is the split test of the 2 VSL. Right? One VSL is like 5 minutes, the other VSL is maybe 8. And as you can see here, the play rate isn't even half, which is actually quite good for a VSL to have half the people who actually ended up watching it. Now, as you can see here, this VSL performed better, but that means that they are only consuming like 2-3 minutes worth of your content, and you expect them to book a call with you. And obviously, ideally, in your industry, you want them to book a call with you. And not only do you want them to book a call, but you then want them to show up to the call, and then you then want them to be qualified, and then you then ideally want them to piff. But the chances of all of that happening from someone literally just watching 2, 3, 4 minutes of you and your content it seems a bit counterintuitive. And what Alex gets at in the $100 million leads book is that you can take the same lead, but if you nurture them and you engage them properly, then you will get the sale that you wouldn't have got before. So to demonstrate this, let's just say that we have a lead. And for the sake of this lead and this situation, let's call him Joseph, because everyone always says like John or Joe. So I thought, let's call him Joseph, right? The first version of Joseph here, just this version of Joseph, this is insanely full screen, but you need to lock in. They might see some short form content, and then they go to the link in your bio, which is a VSL book a call funnel. They don't watch the VSL properly, because as we can see here, they're only consuming 2, 3, 4 minutes of your content. And then you go here, and now they're getting nurture emails, but they don't even really understand who you are. They're probably going to forget the fact that you might still be emailing them on your email list in 3-4 months time, and they might have completely forgotten who you are, because it was just like, oh yeah, I just went on his Instagram. You know, that people don't even understand the fact that they have opted in for something. And then, guess what? They've not been educated or nurtured enough to book a call. And this was a funnel that I was running for all of my previous clients who were selling info and coaching. Now, this will be different, right? So, for example, I have a VSL because I have a fulfillment model where I do done for you webinars for people, right? And there is no way that I could take on more than a book a call VSL would allow me to because of the fulfillment side of things. But if you're selling info and coaching, let's take Joseph and then let's put Joseph. He sees your short form content, but rather than going to the link in your bio and forgetting about you again when in 5 months' time, let's say that they sign up for a webinar and immediately when they sign up for the webinar, we're now sending them emails, we're giving them lead magnets, and we're giving them videos to watch, even just before they've actually attended the webinar. So these people here have had more nurture straight away, simply by just changing, at this point, just a couple pages on the funnel. And then if they actually turn up to the webinar, they are 100% engaged because they are, let's go back to the top here, they are actually showing interest in the stuff that you sell because they've actually taken the time to show up to the call. And then let's say that they watch the webinar because they've actually taken time out of their day to book time out of their calendar to attend and be there. They're either going to pay on the call or book a call, which is basically just a cash collection call. And how do I know this? Because this was a screenshot taken from the Webinar Jam account from a webinar that we did on Monday where we converted 30% of the audience on a low ticket offer. Now I say low ticket, it was probably more like a mid ticket offer. It was £200, which is like $250, $300. And if you look at the average time, this is the average time on the live room, right? So some people will have watched the whole thing. Some people will have watched less, and that's fine. But the average time on the live room was 1 hour and 7 minutes. If you look at the average watch time on a VSL, it's 2, 3, 4 minutes. And Hormozi also says that people buy based on the expectation of future value. And VSLs are too quick and they don't give you enough time to actually show how much value that you can deliver to people. Whereas if you get people in a place for an hour or an hour and a half, you've got plenty of time to answer their questions, show them what you can give them. And a person who pays with their time now, a person who spends 1 hour and 7 minutes on a call is more likely to pay with their money later. So if the only thing in your business that matters is engaging leads and taking the same lead and putting them through a better nurturing sequence, then why not get people to watch 12 times more of your stuff before you actually make an offer to them? And this isn't just a Hormozi thing. This is something that I also learned from Serge Guattari, if you're familiar with Serge. He went from 100k a month to doing 500k a month and added this question to his calendar form and basically split test the way that people answered it based on if they'd watched a webinar or if they had just booked a call on the VSL. Most people on the VSL said the first two. Almost everyone on the webinar said this. And this was the average, like, how much the call was worth, how much the average cash collected on the call after they'd watched the webinar as opposed to watching the VSLs. And it was almost 27 times more than if they weren't familiar with what you were doing because they are engaged and you have had time to persuade them. And you can take the same lead, put them through this system, put them through a VSL that not many people watch, have a graveyard CRM, or have a CRM packed with people who are actually going to come back and piff when they come to their senses, people who are actually being educated and nurtured, and people who are actually engaged because they've turned up to the webinar. Which one would you rather have? It seems like a bit of a no-brainer. So if you are interested in getting this system put in your business, this isn't info, this isn't coaching, this is fully fucking done for you. Like, we literally do everything for you from the front. Like, all you have to do, this is what we say to our clients, all you have to do is show up and present. And that's all you have to do. So if that's you, you can book a call with us in the link in the bio. Or if that's not you, you're not ready yet, you can join our email list where I'm going to nurture you and I'm going to engage you and I'm going to give you our script for free. I'm going to give you YouTube videos every single week for free to engage you. So hopefully one day you will come back and buy from me because engaged leads are all that matters. And if I'm walking the walk, if I'm talking the talk, I've got to walk the walk. So anyway, have a think about that because that is honestly one of the most important takeaways that you can get from $100 million leads. So all that matters is engaged leads. And at the moment, you're not engaging your leads properly. So love you. Bye-bye.